gonna be a sad gay summer, y'all, and I'm telling you now, it's gonna be a load of tears. I'm Quinn Moon, I write queer fairy tales, and this summer I decided it would be a sad gay summer because of this book right here. Run Away With Me by Brian Selznick. This book was everything I expected it to be. It was beautiful, it was lovely, it was heartbreaking. This story, which I've already read, follows two boys on their summer of love in Rome. Tell me that's not the most beautiful premise for the perfect heartbreak. So because I read that book, I was like, I need an entire summer of just heartbreak. I need a summer romance that ends in tragedy this summer. Hence, sad gay summer. So of course, in my obsessive style, I went down a severe rabbit hole and have come up with a pretty substantial list of potential reads that have been narrowed down to the following. Let's talk about the books I'm going to be reading. First of all, let's define summer, because my Quinn Q2 is different than the standard calendar Q2. Q2 equals like quarter two, like second quarter. So this sad gay summer will go from June, July to August. I know it seems really obvious, but my second quarter goes May, June, July. So to me, August lands in Quinn Q3. That's a whole other story. I'll have a whole video about like a mid-year reset. Point being, sad gay summer goes from June, July to August. So let's start classics and then onward, because I don't really have like the year that all of these were published. Why am I going from like pink to yellow? Why is my camera doing like really pale and then like really yellow? Bizarre lighting. I don't know, y'all. I'm so getting used to this place. I'm used to my gray, cold background. This is like the warmest it's been, and I'm wearing a yellow shirt. Quinn, that was not smart. Moving on. I don't need to look good. The books need to look good. In the classics department, let's start. Death in Venice by Thomas Mann. This book was originally published in 1912, and it follows a very successful writer as he visits... Stop. I thought he visited France. No, he don't. He visits Venice. As he visits Venice and becomes increasingly obsessed by the sight of a beautiful Polish youth named Tadzio. Y'all, this book is, look at that, it says the end. It is 70 pages. And what does it say? It is a story of the voluptuousness of doom. Tell me this isn't the proper way to kick off a sad gay summer. If I'm not crying by the end of this, I just did this whole thing wrong. And it's super teeny. I can't wait to talk about it. The next book I'm gonna read, Maurice by E.M. Forrester. Now, not exactly tragic, because if we all know how it ends, we know that there's like a hope and a light at the end of the tunnel. I find it tragic because the first love failed. Because I believe that Maurice and Clive did love each other. In this book, we follow Maurice as he navigates Cambridge University as a closeted homosexual and his doomed love with a fellow student. Like I said, this isn't exactly tragic in the way we would expect, and it is E.M. Forrester's only overtly, openly, just straight up openly queer text. Since he was queer, gay in his lifetime, very few people knew. So there is hope at the end of this. It's extremely progressive for its time, but I'm reading this because I saw the film adaptation. I want to see what Maurice and Clive were like together in the book, and then I might go rewatch the film. I'm not sure. This book is a classic. I had to include it. And of course, what would a classic sad gay summer reading list be without Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin? In this book, we follow David in 1950s Paris after he has proposed to his girlfriend. His American girlfriend is off on a trip, during which time he becomes obsessed with a beautiful bartender named Giovanni. And this story is about that tragic love. One of the most popular books by James Baldwin, a classic in queer literature. I had to include this in my list because without it, what am I even doing here? These next ones don't really have a particular order. I will address how I'm going to read them and like in what order I'm going to read them, because of course I already have that planned. These next books, I'm just kind of like going through them as they show up on my desk. Lie With Me by Philippe Benson. This book follows Philippe and Thomas in their doomed teenage love affair. They are both 17 years old and in high school, and they have a world-altering love affair. Look at this. It is a coming-of-age story that captures the tenderness of first love and the heartbreaking passage of time. If that's not exactly what I'm looking for on this list, I don't know what is. Also super short. Now, total sidebar. Have we noticed that the most tragic of these books are the shortest? Like, it doesn't take a lot to break your heart. It doesn't take a lot to break my heart. It doesn't take a lot to write about the life-altering passion, the life-altering encounters that we all have and that are universally human. Because every person has that. Every person has that one love affair that changed their life. That when they think of time, they think of before and after that love affair. And I am looking for that in every single one of these books. I should have started the video with what I'm looking for. I am looking for love affairs that tell me that these people have a before and an after this love. If they don't define their time, their perspective on life, if they don't have a world shift from this love, this did not give me what I am looking for. This is what I'm looking for. A world-altering love affair. It's the love affair that you've just been so passionate about, that you threw yourself into destructively, unknowingly, hopefully, tragically. I want that in every single one of these books. And I should have led with that, but I did not. Better late than never. Lie With Me by Philippe Benson. Now, I talked about Maurice. I had to pick up Alec by William DeCasio. I am not sure how I feel about this one. So this is the sequel that William DeCasio wrote to the book Maurice, following Alec. I'm just leaving it there in case somehow someone doesn't know how Maurice ends. But this follows Alec's story and his background. In this book, William DeCasio gives them an after. Because Ian Forster tried to write a sequel to the book, but it didn't work out because of the wars that were happening. He just couldn't give them a future. But William DeCasio, now that we're like, what, almost 100 years removed, actually 100 years removed from the situation. Wait, when was this published? Close enough to 100 years removed. He is able to give Maurice the sequel. And I don't have any expectations for this. I'm reading it because of the fact that it's a sequel written for Maurice. And I don't know what to expect. I am hoping we get some sort of happily ever after. Oh my God, y'all. If Clive rears his ugly head, I'm gonna be so pissed off. Go back, leave Maurice alone. Oh no, I didn't even consider that Clive might ruin this. Wait a second. Okay, well, we obviously go into the wars. All right, I don't know what to expect. This suddenly took an unknown turn. I will keep everybody posted. The next book on my sad gay summer list, What Belongs to You by Garth Greenwell. Now, Garth Greenwell has written a few queer, sounds like tragic, stories. One of them, I believe, is an anthology. Another one tells of an encounter of a man that had a near-death experience and is in the hospital. This one follows an American teacher as he walks into a public bath and meets the charismatic youth, young hustler technically, Mitko, and the obsession that grows between them. This book follows this impassioned, mutually toxic, mutually violent, and obsessive relationship between this teacher and Mitko. I think you can see that there is a pattern. I want these to be volatile relationships. I want them to be tragic. I want them to be unhealthy and impassioned and not the example for what a relationship should be. And this book, when I read that premise, I'm like, yes, I need this. Another sidebar. I am all for happy queer stories. I believe that the world needs happy queer stories. Just because you're gay or you're a lesbian or in any form gender queer doesn't mean you deserve an unhappy ending. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to have someone love you in a healthy, emotionally available way. So me deciding to go on a sad gay summer trip, that's just me being masochistic and probably needing therapy. Not because I have plenty of books on my shelves that do show a healthy, happy, queer relationship, which is extremely important. I just wanted to go on a particularly tragic trip, and I wanted my sad summer love that was just gay. Hence, sad gay summer. So I don't want anybody watching this to think my queer love is meant to have a tragic ending. No, it's not. It's supposed to be happy. It's supposed to be healthy. You're supposed to feel good about yourself, about your partner, what you guys want in life. This is just me, on a sad gay trip. Totally okay. I can totally be on a sad gay trip. You deserve a happy ending though, if anybody is halfway through this video and is like, wow, all of these end terribly. No, that's just me specifically looking for all the ones that end terribly. Not because there are a couple that end happily, and there are many more modern ones that have a happy ending, which I will totally get to at some point. This is just, like I said, a super sad gay summer, and I needed this. The next book Open Heaven by Sean Hewitt. Let me read this, because in this book we follow James and Luke, and guess where it's set? North of England, over the course of a year in which two teenage boys meet and transform each other's lives. In a remote village in the north of England. This is it. So I actually bought the majority of these at BookPeople. I am all over this place. I should have led with this. I bought the majority of these at BookPeople in Austin, Texas. Fantastic bookstore, please go visit. I bought most of them at BookPeople. I couldn't find this one until I looked on a random shelf, and like it was at the very bottom and it was the last one. I'm like, heck yes. Open Heaven follows James and Luke in a remote North England village and the year that changed their lives. Again, in true sad gay summer vibes, first loves, coming of age, figuring yourself out, exploring what you love, who you love, and the terror of having your first love. Just tell me that doesn't sound tragically beautiful. And then these two, I had to put together. I'm gonna first start with the one that I've already read. It's a reread, but nonetheless has had one of the most profound impacts on my literary journey. This is about as impactful as Pillars of the Earth was for my historical path, and now I write queer historical fantasy. So this book is that critical to my entire literary identity. Call Me By Your Name by Andre Aciman. I read this for the first time, I must have been mid-20s, almost 10 years ago at this point. And I actually already have the traditional cover. This is just one that I had to get because mine's in storage, and the only one available was one of the ones that I didn't quite like. So I decided to get the film cover, which I usually don't, but it's all right. Again, BookPeople, why not? In this book, which has turned into a movie, which was directed by Luca Guadagnino, right? Yes, which was directed by Luca Guadagnino. In this book, we follow Elio and Oliver in a summer in Italy as Oliver goes to intern with Elio's father, who is an academic. Oliver is a grad student, and Elio is a very intelligent young man. And this book follows their summer love. And I don't need to tell you how it ends if it's on this list. I loved it. I read the sequel, Find Me, and it has been one of the biggest disappointments of my literary life. I'm still processing how much I didn't like Find Me, because this book ends so beautifully. Find Me gives a continuation, but I don't think that it was exactly needed because of how this book ends. This book ends on an ambiguous note, on a vague note, on a tragic note, on a bitterly hopeful note. Like, I want to believe that I meant something to you. And that's what I wanted to retain. I didn't want what Find Me gave me. So I am rereading Call Me By Your Name. And the last book on my list is gonna be a doozy. Separate Rooms by Pier Vittorio Tondelli, with the foreword by Andre Aciman. Because this book inspired Call Me By Your Name. Because this book, Andre Aciman read it, and Call Me By Your Name was born of it. And this book follows Thomas and his older boyfriend, Leo, as Leo slowly dies. And this is the tragic story of Thomas watching Leo slowly and inevitably die, and Leo having to face this death alone because Thomas doesn't feel that he can watch. A masterpiece of Italian literature and a heartbreaking portrait of love, grief, and the daily realities of being a gay man in 1980s Europe. I don't even know what to expect of this book. I expect this to be extremely difficult. I expect this to be essentially real-time grieving and losing the person you love most, bitterness, regret, bitterness over having hope, wishing it was different. Like, this book is probably gonna be the heaviest book that I read. I don't know if I'm ready for it, but I saw it and I had to get it. And it is now on my sad gay summer list, and I cannot wait to talk about it. Whew. Okay, that was a lot of heartbreak and a lot of trauma. Now, to the plan, because we got to parse this out. Otherwise, I'm just going to read all these books and then just never crawl out from under my bed. So, the plan to tackle these books this summer. Again, June, July, August. Got my handy dandy planner. Because I live and die by this thing, y'all. Like, I cannot imagine trying to do anything without this planner. So let's do this. We are kicking off June with the classics. We will be reading Death in Venice, Giovanni's Room, and Maurice, all in June. These are all pretty short, so hopefully I can get through them in 6 to 10 days, and then that leaves the rest of the month for the rest of my TBR, but that's a separate video. Right now we're talking about Sad Gay Summer. So for Sad Gay Summer, it's going to be Death in Venice, Giovanni's Room, and Maurice in June. I'm not important. The books are. In July, we are reading Alec, Call Me By Your Name, and Separate Rooms. I'm actually going to tackle Alec first because I'm going to read Maurice last in June. So in July, I want to kick it off with Alec and then Call Me By Your Name and Separate Rooms. I think I'm going to read Call Me By Your Name first and then Separate Rooms. I'm not sure the order. I feel like I need Call Me By Your Name first and then Separate Rooms. And then I think I need to add like a palate cleanser to offset the tragedy that we're going to be working with that month. Then we're wrapping up the summer in August with Lie With Me, What Belongs to You, and Open Heaven. These, while they do seem tragic, I think are going to be lighter, as light as you can get on a list like this, than Separate Rooms, obviously. So August, we're going to wrap it up with these three guys. Nice and short, really excited. So that is my Sad Gay Summer reading list. I don't know what got into me that I'm just like, I need to have a summer romance that ends tragically. And instead of just reading one book, Run Away With Me, I decided to get 9. I decided to get 9. What is wrong with me? So that is my Sad Gay Summer reading list. I am super excited. I am going to live just sad summer loves over and over and over again. And I can't wait to share that experience with everybody, to just bawl, just be sad. I think this is gonna be a recurring theme in like my just reading repertoire. So I might start a playlist, like Sad Gay Summer playlist, to set the expectation that all of those books will probably end in tears. Now, if any of these books don't end in tears, totally okay. Like I said, I haven't read any of these. Just by the synopsis, I am assuming, guessing, anticipating that they're going to be kind of tragic. If they're not, that's totally okay. I will still read them, obviously. But the goal is Sad Gay Summer. There's going to be a whole playlist for Sad Gay Summer. So anybody need a good Sad Gay Summer cry, I got you. By the end of August, you'll have 9 books that you can pick from. Let me know if you read any of these books. Let me know if you're excited to read them, because I will actually post in the description box the books that I will read each month, because if you're gonna read them, we can all read them together and then talk about it in a timely manner. Oh crap. I vlog on a different like cadence than I read. Darn. I'm on Fable. If you want to go and talk to me on Fable about Sad Gay Summer books, please do so. I'll actually so I have, hold up, this actually isn't even a plug. Like I'm just doing Fable for myself. Let's see. So on Fable, I have a book club, which is not a book club at all. It's called, hold up, Quinn's Readalongs. So it's really just books that I'm reading, and when I read them, I will update when I'll be reading them. I will be reading most of these queer books in the first week of every month. As I read them, I will add them as like a read along on my book club, and we can just read along and talk about it. Some of these are so short, it might, I don't know, should I do like live streams of this? Y'all, I don't even know, it's getting really involved. But I want to talk about these books, and I want to express just how much I love them and what they mean to me. If anybody even cares about this, I will absolutely do like read with me's. I'm not even sure if that's a thing. Y'all, who wants to watch me read? It is actually a very ridiculous, just whole shenanigan. Like, I'm the most distracting, gaspy individual to be reading with, but totally digressing. I will be reading these over the summer. Talk to me about the Sad Gay Summer that you're having. Tell me about the books. Tell me about what you recommend me to read that will break my heart in the most satisfying way possible. Just beautiful. That's it for this video. I'll catch you guys next time. Seriously, what else should I read? On Fable, I also have like a Sad Gay Summer reading list. So tell me what books I'm missing off that list if you think something should be added. Catch you guys next time. Bye!